You know labor is going to be intense. You've heard the stories, you've seen the birth videos, you know contractions will be powerful. But here's the real question. Do you actually know what to expect when it comes to pain? Because most women, when they think about labor pain, they picture something out of their control, something that happens to them. And that's not the full story. The truth is, labor pain is not the same as injury pain. Your body is designed to handle it. And when you understand why labor feels the way it does, and more importantly, how to work with it instead of against it, that is when everything changes. And that is exactly what we're covering today, because pain does not have to mean suffering. But if you don't prepare for it now, your brain is going to default to fear. And that is when labor can start to feel overwhelming. By the end of this session, you're not just going to understand labor pain, you're going to see exactly what it takes to actually handle it in the moment. And even more importantly, you're going to realize why just knowing this information isn't enough. Because once contractions hit, it's too late to figure it out. You need your body and your mind trained before labor starts so that when you're in it, you don't have to think about it. You just know. So let's get into it. Welcome to Trust Your Birth Tuesday, where we cut through the noise, ditch the fear-based nonsense we've been told about birth, and actually get to feeling prepared and confident. Hi, I'm Coco. I'm a birth doula and coach and a mama of two. As a doula, I've seen firsthand what makes a difference between a mom who feels strong, focused, and in control, and a mom who feels completely overwhelmed the moment contractions hit. And here is what I've learned. It's not about having support in the moment. It's about how well you've trained your mind and body before labor even begins. I've worked with women who had every intention of an unmedicated birth, but when contractions got intense, they panicked. They had a birth plan. They had the doula, but they hadn't actually practiced how to handle labor pain. And in that moment, when everything felt overwhelming, their plans completely unraveled. On the other hand, I've worked with women who walk into labor ready. Contractions were just as intense, but they knew exactly what to do with that intensity. They didn't freeze, they didn't panic, they didn't second guess. They worked with their body, not against it. Because here's the thing, a doula can guide you, but she cannot do the work for you. You can have all the support in the world, but if you have not trained your mind and body, you're walking into that labor room half prepared. And that's exactly why we're having this conversation today. I don't want you to just know what's coming. I want you to know exactly how to handle it. So let's talk about labor pain, because most women fear it, but very few actually understand it. And here's what no one tells you. Labor pain is not injury pain. Your body is not signaling something is wrong. It's working exactly as it should. But if you don't understand the difference, it's easy to go into labor feeling afraid because we're conditioned to think of pain as something as bad. So let's reframe it. Imagine breaking a bone. That pain is your body's way of saying, stop, something is wrong, don't move. It's protective. It's trying to keep you still so that you don't make the injury worse. Now, imagine you're running a marathon. This discomfort you feel isn't a sign of injury, but it's your body working hard, pushing through, adapting. It's intense, but it's productive. And your body is releasing endorphins, which are natural painkillers, to help keep you going. Labor pain is more like that marathon. It's not there to stop you. It's there to move you forward, and your body is designed to handle it. During labor, your body is going to release a surge of endorphins, which naturally dull pain and create a sense of euphoria. The more oxytocin your body produces, the hormone that drives contractions, the more endorphins you release. They work together, helping you cope with labor intensity in real time. But here's the catch. The system only works if you know how to activate it. Most women never learn how to actually work with their body's natural pain relief. They fight contractions, they tense up, let fear take over, and that is when the pain is going to start becoming really overwhelming. And that's exactly what we train for inside my birth coaching, because handling labor pain isn't about willpower. It isn't about a high pain tolerance. It's about knowing how to work with your body instead of against it. The way you think about labor pain directly impacts how you experience it. If you go into labor fearing contractions, seeing them as something that you need to fight or suffer through, it's going to feel way harder. But when you shift your mindset, you shift how your body responds. Here are 3 powerful mindset shifts that can make contractions feel completely different. 1, pain versus power. Labor is not your body failing, it's your body working. Most women think of contractions as something happening to them, but when you shift that, seeing contractions as something you're working with, everything changes. Think about lifting weights, right? If you've ever done an intense workout, you know the burn your muscles are actually working, right? It might be uncomfortable, but you don't panic. You know that that's how you're building strength. And labor is the same way. The intensity isn't a sign of something being wrong. It's a sign that your body is doing exactly what it was built to do. So when you embrace contractions as productive and not punishing, you stop yourself from bracing against them. You stop tensing. You're able to surrender. And when you stop fighting them, they're going to become so much easier to handle. Okay, number 2, pain with a purpose. Unlike injury pain, labor pain has an end and a reason. Injury pain lingers. It doesn't serve you. Labor pain, it's only temporary. It's actually bringing you closer to meeting your baby. Every contraction is your uterus actively working to bring your baby down. Your body is not breaking, it's opening. This shift is huge because when you stop seeing labor pain as endless suffering and you start seeing it as progress, you're going to work with it instead of resist it. So if you go into labor thinking, how long is this going to last? It's easy to start getting really overwhelmed and worked up. But if you tell yourself each contraction has a beginning, a middle, and an end, each one is bringing me closer to meeting my baby. Now, suddenly you have control over your mindset. This is why inside my birth coaching, we practice reconditioning your brain because how you think in labor matters just as much as what you do. And number 3, training your brain for labor. Fear and tension don't just make labor harder, they make pain worse. Here's what most people don't realize. Your brain can't tell the difference between a real physical threat and a perceived one. If you don't train your nervous system ahead of time, your body is going to default to panic. That's why so many women describe labor pain as unbearable, because when fear takes over, your body tenses up, making contractions feel more painful than they actually are. And that's why preparing for labor isn't just about knowing what's going to happen. It's about training your brain so you can stay calm and control once those contractions hit. And that's exactly why my Empower Birth Coaching exists. We don't just talk about pain management, we actually practice it. We train your brain and your body ahead of time so that when labor starts, you don't have to think about it. You just know what to do. Most women assume that labor pain is just about how intense contractions are, but that's only part of the picture. What actually makes them unbearable unbearable is not the contractions themselves. It's how your body and your mind are reacting to them. So here's the 2 biggest things that make labor pain worse and what you can do instead. 1, fear and the fear, tension, pain cycle. Fear increases pain. Always. Okay, here is how it works. When you're afraid, your body tenses up. When your body tenses, your muscles contract against resistance. And when that happens, you feel more pain. This is called the fear, tension, pain cycle. And the reason that labor feels so much harder when you are anxious. So think about getting a shot, for example. If you clench up, if your muscles are really tense, the needle is going to sting more. But if you exhale, you relax your arm, you probably barely will feel it. Now, you have to apply that to labor. If you are afraid of contractions, your body is going to tense up against them, which actually makes them in turn feel more intense, feel more painful, way more than they actually need to. But if you train your brain to relax and your body to relax into these contractions instead of resisting them, they're going to be so much easier to handle. And that is where most women struggle, because you can't tell yourself, don't be scared. That doesn't work. It's never going to work. You have to be physically trained to stay loose and relaxed while you're experiencing that intensity. And if you don't train for this ahead of time, your body will default to fear, tension, and pain. And no, I'm not just talking about the quick tips and trips that you're getting from all the doulas on Instagram. I'm talking about an actual strategy to figuring out how to train your mind, train your body, so that when that intensity hits, you're able to surrender and relax to it. That's why inside my birth coaching, we don't talk about just staying calm. We actually rewire, we retrain, we reprogram how your body responds to contractions, so that instead of bracing against them, you're able to stay loose and stay open and stay in control. That's the difference between suffering through labor pain and working with it. So number 2, not knowing what to do in the moment. Most women plan to just breathe through labor pain. But here's the problem. If you haven't trained your breath and body to instinctively relax under intensity, it's not going to work when labor starts. It's like trying to run a marathon without actually training. It's like watching YouTube videos of people running. It's like reading books about people running. It's following runners on Instagram, but you never actually running before the marathon, right? You would never do that. It doesn't make any sense. You might know how to do things in theory, but if you haven't practiced, your body is not going to respond in the way that it needs to. And this is what it could look like in real life, okay? Let's picture there's 2 women in labor. One woman knows all the breathing techniques, but she never actually applied them in her real life when she was pregnant. She never used them. So when contractions hit, she panics. Her breathing becomes shallow, her shoulders tense, her brain spirals. I can't do this. Okay. Now let's go to the other woman. She spent her pregnancy training her breath and her body and her mind to respond to contractions. The moment one starts, she now automatically drops her shoulders. She loosens her jaw. She exhales through the intensity. Instead of tensing up, her body is opening, exactly what it's supposed to do during labor. This is the same contraction, 2 very different experiences. This is why inside of my birth coaching, I'm not just going to teach you coping techniques. We're going to make sure that they become second nature. Because when labor starts, you're not going to have time to think. You need your body to just do what it is supposed to do. And most women go into labor hoping that they're going to be able to handle the pain rather than having that confidence and knowing they'll be able to handle the intensity. They'll think, I'll just breathe through it. I'll just rely on my doula to guide me. But the truth is, hope is not a strategy. And when contractions hit, you don't want to be figuring it out. You want to be executing everything that you've trained for, because labor pain isn't just something that you endure. It's something that you can actively work with. You just need the right tools. So let's go over what we've covered today. Labor pain is not the same as injury pain. Your body is designed to handle it, but you have to know how to activate those natural pain relief mechanisms. 2, your mindset changes everything. When you stop seeing contractions as something happening to you and you start working with them, the experience is going to completely shift. And 3, the 2 biggest things that make labor pain feel unbearable are fear and not knowing what to do in the moment. If you don't train your body and your mind to relax into the intensity, you'll instinctively resist it. And that makes everything harder. So now you have a better understanding of why labor pain feels the way it does and what makes it more manageable. But here's the thing, understanding this is not the same as being prepared. You can all know this logically, but still freeze the second that contractions start. Because when you're in labor, you're not going to have time to think about a strategy. You're going to need your body to already know what to do. And that is truly why I created my Empower birth coaching program. Because inside Empower, we're not just talking about pain management. It isn't just a passive course that you're watching. We are training your nervous system to work with your contractions instead of against them. We practice these techniques together so that when labor starts, you're automatically knowing what to do. You can activate your natural pain relief system. You can stay loose and open instead of tense up. You can breathe in a way that actually reduces pain instead of making it worse. And you can move in ways that make contractions easier to handle. This is not something that you can just learn. You have to experience before labor starts, so it becomes second nature. Because when contractions hit, you're not wanting to be thinking, you're wanting to be doing. And that's what we make sure of inside my birth coaching program. If you're ready to stop hoping that you can handle the labor pain and actually train for it, here's what you're going to do next. Apply for my Empower birth coaching by clicking the link below. I still have a few spots open this month, so I want you to jump inside. If you're wondering if this is the right fit, after you apply, we're going to do a one-on-one free birth prep strategy session so that we can talk through your goals and make sure that this is the right fit. Here's the thing, you cannot afford to wait until labor starts to figure it out. What you do now determines how you handle it then. So don't leave this up to chance. Don't walk into birth hoping that you're going to know what to do. Walk in prepared. Walk in confident. This is your chance to train for the birth that you want. Apply now and let's get you ready. Can't wait to see you inside.